A bit of a jump there. I'm a little torn when I was trying to decide what to read here, because what I originally was talking about reading was a suggestion that my wife made, and it's a great scene, but the language is a little blue, like more blue than my sweater. So I'm going to throw that advisory out and take a vote. We can have the rated R version of the reading, or there's another section I can read that is rated PG. So let's get the feeling of the room here. Who would like the rated R version? Who would like the rated PG version? R it is. R it is. Okay, so the character that I wrote is, her name is Gus McIntyre. She's a police detective, and she has been undercover in a human trafficking operation. It's actually federally funded, and what her job is she pretends to be a buyer of prostitutes. She buys women from this guy named Anton, who's a middleman, and she takes them in, and then they give them social services and so forth to get them off the street. But meanwhile, the people that she's buying from thinks that she's setting them down south and that they're still working as prostitutes. So this scene is one of the meetings that she has with Anton. Turn this up now. Here we go. Okay, they're meeting at Joe Albi Stadium. As it turned out, Anton was late. I sat in my car for a little while. I double-checked that both the audio and video were working in my magic spy purse. Then I waited some more. After 15 minutes, I muttered to my invisible audience, "At least everyone had a chance to get set up, right?" I rolled down the windows, got out, and leaned on the car near the front tire. If Anton stood near me, he would be center frame on the surveillance cam, if he showed. 10 minutes later, a deep blue Lincoln turned off Wellesley and into the large, empty parking lot. As it drew closer to me, I got a look at the driver. It was a black guy I'd never seen before, but I recognized Anton in the passenger seat. In the back seat, I could see two women. Young women. The car stopped a half dozen yards away. Anton got out immediately and strode towards me. "You like yourself a wide open space, don't you, H? You couldn't park no closer to the stadium?" I shrugged. "There might be maintenance people there, groundskeepers, maybe even security. No one cares about this lot, though." "That right. It is." He stopped in front of me. "Couldn't be that you don't feel so safe around mean old Anton no more, huh? The other night scare you some?" I stared at him, then smiled. "No, it was a walk in the park." He chuckled. "Funny shit. You got the message then." I shrugged. I didn't know the message was supposed to be that you weren't safe to be around. I thought the message was that you were paranoid. "You know what I heard about that, right?" "No, but you're going to tell me, right?" "Damn straight. How else is a sheltered woman like you going to learn anything?" He smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. More one that said he was pleased with himself. "I heard that a man might be paranoid as all get out, but that don't mean there ain't people out to fuck with him." "You're a cautious man." His smile faded. "I'm a businessman. And better careful than dead, that's what I'm saying." I wondered for a moment if this was Anton's half-assed, half-hearted attempt at an apology. I kind of hoped so. It would mean that he was all good with me again. "So since I'm a businessman, let's get down to it." He clapped his hands together. "I'm going to show you something, H. Something special. And the first motherfucking words out of your mouth had better be a price I can live with. If not, I'm gone as Elvis." I squinted. "Elvis? I had you figured for more of a Tupac fan." "Shit, Tupac ain't gone. Motherfucker keeps releasing CDs, right?" "I wouldn't know." "There you go then, talking shit about something you ignorant about. But I can't say Elvis without you getting all worked up. What's wrong with you, H? You acting all white today." That made me smile in spite of everything. "I'm white as Elvis, Anton. Now what do you have?" But he ignored me, wanting to get in the last word. "White as Elvis? You serious? That dude was the blackest white man since ever." "Anton," I spoke slowly and deliberately, "what do you have for me today?" He smiled and motioned toward the car with his index finger. "You're gonna like this shit." The passenger door opened and one of the young women got out. She had deep dark hair that hung past her shoulders. Her steps were tentative until Anton snapped his fingers and beckoned her. "Hurry your young ass up." When she got closer, I could see she was even younger than I thought. 15, maybe. Her eyes held dim confusion mixed with dull fear. "What's she on?" I asked Anton. His smile faltered. "That's all you got to ask me? I bring you this fine-ass trim and all you want to know is what she been taking to relax? They're no good to me stoned." "Ain't no thing. After a while they be unstoned. That's how it work." "Not if they're addicts. We already talked about this. It's weed, H. Motherfucking Mary Jane. Jesus fuck. And that's all." "Yeah, man, you want some too? Because you acting one uptight bitch today." I looked the girl in the eye. "What's your name?" She shook her head slightly and looked at Anton. "She don't speak no English," she told me. Then he said to the girl, "Kak vas zovut?" She blinked stupidly for a moment, as if the words didn't mean anything to her coming from Anton. Then recognition came into her eyes. She turned back to me. "Faina, Nienya zovut Faina." "Faina," I repeated. "Faina," she pronounced slowly. I repeated it back to her. She smiled and nodded. "Da." "See, now you friends and shit," Anton said. "That's beautiful." "I'm impressed," I told him. "Where'd you learn Russian?" "I didn't. You just spoke it. And that's all I know, to ask a name. Well, except for daime sex, of course." I didn't need a translation for that. Anton continued without missing a beat. "Now we've done with all the pleasantries. You interested?" "How much?" He rattled off a figure twice as high as I'd pay for the Russian women. I didn't react to the inflated price. Instead, I glanced at his car. "What about the other one?" Anton took a deep breath and scratched his chin, and he shook his head. "Nah, she just along for the ride." "Bullshit," I told him. "You just want me to think she's not available, so I'll pay more." He laughed. "Shit, H, I ain't that devious." "Then bring her out here." He hesitated. "Thing is, she ain't really for sale. She'd probably go in the other direction." "At least let me have a look." He nodded slowly. Aye, but this shit's only for sample purposes. Here?" "Sure." Anton waved again. After a moment, the other passenger got out of the car. She bowed her head and walked directly toward us. "Damn, Anton, now that girl is white." He smiled appreciatively. "That's no lie." When she drew close, he added, "See that skin? Like motherfucking porcelain." He was right. Her skin was smooth and healthy, not like some of the women I'd already rescued from Anton and his crew. Her eyes were downcast and she kept her hands folded in front of her. Her hair was a bright blonde, the color I used to jokingly refer to as cheerleader yellow. But it was thick and lustrous and well cared for. She wore a white blouse without any bra and a pair of snug blue shorts that were half a size away from being Daisy Dukes. She carried it off, though. She had a woman's body. I guessed her age at 17 or 18. "What's your name?" I asked. She didn't look up. I glanced to Anton. "How do you say it again? Kak vas what?" "She ain't Russian." Anton reached out and nudged her shoulder, causing her to flinch. "Answer the woman, bitch." Her eyes flicked up to me, and I could immediately see that she was younger than I thought. Maybe as young as the dark-haired girl. "Taylor," she whispered, barely audible. Anton smacked her shoulder, and she jumped. "Speak up, bitch!" "I heard her," I said to Anton. "How much did you say?" He rattled off the figure again. "That'd be just for the dark-haired one." "No, I want both." He chuckled. "Why'd I know that was coming? Should have kept her in the car." "Both," I repeated. "How much?" He sighed. "See, to do that, I gotta disappoint another customer. I don't like doing that." I looked at Faina and Taylor. Faina stared back at me dully, but when Taylor glanced up, her expression was fearful. She mouthed 2 words to me. Then after a second, she mouthed a 3rd word before dropping her gaze. "So how about we just do the one?" Anton continued. I turned to him and put on my best game face. "Are they virgins?" He shrugged. "Close enough." I almost laughed. There is no close enough. They either are or they aren't. He pointed at Faina. Oh, I forgot about this part. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. He shrugged. "Close enough." I almost laughed. There is no close enough. They either are or they aren't. He pointed at Faina. "She sucked cock too good to be a virgin, but unless the customer a doctor or some shit, she can play it up well enough. You get a month or 2 of fantasy first out of her to be sure." I pointed at Taylor. "What about her?" Anton pursed his lips. To tell you the truth, I don't know for sure. I know I ain't tapped that ass yet, so she ain't ruined for most white boys. He tapped Taylor on the shoulder again. What about it, bitch? You get your V card punched yet? Taylor swallowed and glanced up at Anton and back at the ground. Yes, I mean, yes, you a virgin, or yes, you've been fucked. I haven't, Christ, shut up, you stuttering bitch. He turned to me. She a virgin, close enough, just like the other one. Good. But like I said, she ain't for sale. Everything's for sale, I said, for the right price. Anton grinned again. That's why I like you, H. You say all kinds of sweet things. I'm that kind of person. But she really ain't. Here's what I'll do, I said, my voice brisk and businesslike. We'll skip the back and forth. We both know you'd knock off a third. We both know you'd knock off... Houston, we have a problem. We both know you'd knock off a third if we did that. Let's save a little time and aggravation. I'll pay your asking price. Done, he said. But I want both of them. Anton hesitated again, this time longer than before. I knew we were really close to a deal. I waited, studiously avoiding the dull look from Faina or Taylor's desperate glances. Instead, I nudged Anton just a little. It's not like I haven't been your best customer, I told him. It's not like this is a one-time deal either. Sure, he said, I hear you, but how about I bring you the next one? That way you and my other customer be happy. No, I pointed at the two of them. Do you know how much my clients can make marketing these two? Virgin threesomes, virgin lesbians, the possibilities are endless. That's why I'm willing to pay a premium now. Anton sighed. But you gotta throw in another 20%. Why? Aggravation fee. I gotta give something to my other buyer to soften the blow. And line your own pocket. Shit, I get my cut. This is on the up and up. I pretended to consider for a few seconds. Then I nodded slowly. All right, deal. I named the final amount to make sure we were clear. It was probably more than I'd spent altogether in this operation so far, but I figured the feds were good for it. Good enough. He waved the girls back to the car and watched them go. You just bought yourself some fine young pussy, H. I need a day or two to get the money. Nuh-uh. Anton shook his head. This shit has a window of opportunity attached to it. Tomorrow. A small cold knot of dread formed in my stomach. Getting that kind of cash together that fast would be tricky. The feds had deep pockets, but they were protected by miles of red tape. I can't do that, he shrugged. Then I guess you'd be disappointed instead of the other guy I'm about to have to go talk to. I can't get the money that fast, I said. It has to be curried up here. Yeah? From where? South. He smiled. See? You paranoid too. I need another day or two. And I need some whiskey that don't leave me hungover in the morning. Somehow I think we both gonna be disappointed. He turned to walk away. I'll call you tomorrow and we'll set up a meet. I stared after him, silent. When he reached the car, he opened the door, then looked back at me again. Or we won't. You let me know. He got in. As soon as he closed the door, the car accelerated, turning a tight circle and heading toward the exit. I watched him go, my mind replaying the exchange. I should have been thinking about all the arguments I was going to have to make to expedite the request for that kind of money. Why it was worth it, what it would mean for this operation. I should have been happy that I now had Anton on audio and video, brokering a deal for an underage sex slave. But all I could think about was the three words that Taylor mouthed at me. Help me, she pleaded. And then the final word, please.